Yo, what's good, basketball heads? It's your boy Crush. So let's talk about Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, the Celtics. Right now, currently, Jayson Tatum is currently the worst shooter in NBA Finals history. It's that bad. And it's not a competition between Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, at least to me. The whole goal, the objective is to win the championship. It's not a competition who scores more points. That's pointless. So I'm not going to compare Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown like who is better. But what I am saying is if you are that dude, you are supposed to be the best player on the team. You got to perform better. You got to perform better. I mean, it's gotten to the point where everybody's saying who is the best player. It's Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is better than Jayson Tatum. And once again, I don't want to get into that whole debate, who's better. But in this playoffs, in the entire playoffs of 2024, Jaylen Brown has been the better player. He won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And you got dudes online talking about Jayson Tatum should have won. How? Jayson Tatum was horrible. Jaylen Brown have been the best player. They didn't make a mistake with that. Jaylen Brown have been the saving grace of this team throughout this playoff, throughout the run. And like I said, it's not a competition. And, I don't want them to compete against each other and end up losing, because once you start competing against each other, I'm trying to get the Finals MVP, then you end up blowing the mission. You end up losing sight of the objective, the goals, and you end up losing. So I wouldn't want them to do that. But Jayson Tatum got to play better, man. And you got dudes online making excuses for him. Come on, man. We got to stop this. He's supposed to be the best player on the team. Granted, every now and then, even the best player on a team have a bad slump or a bad game. It happens in every series. You might have one bad game, maybe two, but you can't play an entire postseason and you're not playing good. You're not shooting well. You're just not playing well. Luckily, Boston, they're the deeper team. They have more bodies. They have more players at each position than the Mavericks. Luckily, they're fortunate for that situation. They have so much more talent on that team. There's such a deep roster. Because if that wasn't the case, and talent-wise they were matched evenly, Boston would have no chance if Jayson Tatum is not performing at an elite level. And he haven't been performing well, man. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jaylen Brown wins the Finals MVP. If Boston win, that is. But that is insane, man. The drop-off. This man is the worst shooter in NBA Finals history. That's insane. That is really bad. That tells you how bad he's playing. The man is shooting 35%. Luckily, they got a break. Not trying to make excuses, but they got a break. Through the entire playoff, injuries. Every single team they have played along the way, the main stars, they got injured. The Cavaliers, injuries. Indiana, injuries. Miami Heat, injuries. Every single team, the main stars, they were injured, unavailable. Not making excuses. Once again, you could only play who's in front of you. So I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, talk about a break, man. The road to the finals, it don't get any easier. You haven't played any team where the main star wasn't injured. And even then, Jayson Tatum struggled. And let's be honest, through the history of the Celtics, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Tatum gets all the credit. They always scrutinize Jaylen Brown. The man said he was surprised he won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP because he never wins anything. Is he underrated? Yes, he is. Somewhat, yes, he's underrated. And now Jaylen Brown is making a case for himself. He's saying, I am the best player on the team. Not that you need to worry about who's the best. Just go out and win the championship. But it's real telling, man, because now if they win the championship and the Finals MVP goes to Jaylen Brown, now everybody's like, that's the best Celtic. And, as a player, you have an ego. I don't know how Jayson Tatum would handle that. If Jaylen Brown wins the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, the Finals MVP, and everybody's saying he's the best player on the team, and then he starts feeling like I'm the best player on the team. Eventually, he's feeling himself. Yeah, I did that. And if that's the case, that could cause friction because now you have one player who's supposed to be the best player on the team and the other player who's supposed to be the co-star, the number two, a great number two. Now he's feeling like I'm number one. The exact situation happened in Washington between Bradley Beal and John Wall. Bradley Beal felt like I'm the better player. And, once that happens, you're going to have friction because one guy is going to feel like it's my team. I want to lead. I want to take the buzzer beaters. I want to take the final shots in crunch time. And this could cause friction in the long run. Not saying they need to worry about it, but then again, it all depends on personnel. It all depends. But once again, even if you're not somebody who's egotistical, you still have an ego. It's a natural part of being a human being, being a man. So if Jaylen Brown wins both MVPs and everybody's saying, yo, this is the best player on the team, I can see that causing problems. Friction in the locker room, friction in the organization. One dude feeling like I'm the leader, I should lead. The guy who's actually supposedly the best player on the team, he's feeling a certain way. So it's not a great look, man. Throughout the history of the NBA, and in most cases, this is not something you see often. You have seen it before, like I said, with the Wizards, Bradley Beal, John Wall, the Los Angeles Lakers, Shaq, Kobe. We have seen this before where, one guy feels like I'm the best player, the other guy feels like I'm the man. And I hope that's not the case in the long run because Jaylen Brown is out here balling, man. The man is out here balling. Tatum is playing okay, subpar. And Jaylen Brown is out here just doing what he got to do. Playing great defense, beasting on offense. Hence why the Mavericks are down 0-2. The Celtics, they're up 2-0. Obviously, not just Jaylen Brown. You have Jrue Holiday, Porzingis. There's other pieces to the puzzle, but I'm saying. And Tatum just haven't been great, man. He haven't been great in this playoff. 2024 playoff, I don't know what happened to this man. By field goal percentage, Jayson Tatum is currently the worst shooter in NBA Finals history. That's crazy. The man is shooting that bad. The man had a disappointing Game 2 performance. He shot 6 for 22 from the field, and a similar poor performance in Game 1. He shot 6 of 16 from the field. So Jayson Tatum, his shooting woes, it's a concern, man. Luckily, like I said, they have a very deep team. Brown is playing exceptionally well, and they have a lot of talent and players that could fill in for Jayson Tatum, like Porzingis, Jrue Holiday, White. You could go on and on. They have so much talent that they could make up the difference. But on the contrary, Dallas don't have that margin for error. As you can see, Kyrie had 2 bad games and they lost. Because Kyrie and Luka both have to be exceptionally well. They got to play great every game, every night. And this is not the first time Jayson Tatum struggles on the biggest stage. He also struggled in 2022 in the NBA Finals. So this seems to be a reoccurring theme. In the finals, on the biggest stage, he can't seem to perform the way he needs to. Luckily, he have a deep roster, and Jaylen Brown is picking up the slacks. The man is shooting 31% from the field. But scoring is not the only way you could impact the game. So obviously, he's playing good defense. He's doing other things. If your shots ain't falling, you got to do other things. And fortunately for him, he could also play great defense. So even though his shots ain't going in, he's shooting terribly, he's shooting horribly, he could still play defense and impact the game in other ways. So Jayson Tatum is averaging 17 points, 10 rebounds, 8.5 assists per game in this series. Luckily, he could play make, facilitate, do other things, play defense. He could still be effective. Unlike Kyrie Irving, if his shots ain't falling, he's not scoring. He could still facilitate, but beyond that, he's not a great defender. He could play decent defense at times, but if Jayson Tatum want to solidify himself as the best Celtics and the best player in the NBA, it starts in the finals, man. You're going to have to put on. You got to perform. You can't be playing this bad in the finals. And if you don't win the finals MVP, it's a problem. Like I said, the main goal is to win the championship. But if they win and Jaylen Brown gets both MVPs, I'm telling you, it's not going to look good for Jayson Tatum. It's not going to look good for what he's trying to do, for his legacy and what he's trying to do. You know, when you look back like, oh, so this guy, the number 2, won both MVPs? Like I said, it's not a competition. The focus is to win the chip. But at the same time, man, you do want those accolades because that's your legacy. Well, we're going to see what happens moving forward, man. The Celtics, they're leading 2-0. We're going to see what happens, man. But as always, I'll holla. As always, we just talking basketball. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share. Holla at your boy.
It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about the game. I'ma say it. It's all about the game.